Just as a heads up, I got an email from Anthony like right now asking to register for the meeting, so I sent him the registration link. So whenever he gets that done, we can approve him.
Okay. And we're live now, so be careful.
Hello.
Your private jet needs to turbulence. Come on, take off that schmuck. No. I've worked for 40 years. Almost died. Yeah.
Gerald just wanted to say hi to Deb.
Hi, Gerald.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Bon
Good
matin,
morning.
everyone.
I'm at 10.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning, everyone. If I could get everyone to please mute their microphones when they're not talking. This is Nicola Ludwig. I am the governance manager for MNBC. If I could get everyone to please mute their microphones when they're not talking. This is Nicola Ludwig. I am the governance manager for MNBC. If I could get everyone to please mute their microphones when they're not talking. This is Nicola Ludwig. I am the governance manager for MNBC. Please mute their microphones when they're not talking. This is Nicola Ludwig. I don't know. Let me shut it. Oh, I think I know why. Mute their microphones when they're not talking. I don't know. Let me shut it. Oh, I think I know why. Yeah, I see that. Let me shut it. Oh, I think I know.
I left the bathroom. Pretty nice.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I don't.
All right.
We have to do a roll call or anything?
No,
Okay,
just confirm quorum.
so I'm gonna get you to do that.
All right. All right. Okay, I think we're ready to start. Just confirm.
I'm gonna get you to do that.
All right. We have 84 people in the meeting, so we will get started. Okay, I'm ready to start. Apologies, we're having some audio issues here today. 84 people in the meeting, so we will get started. Okay, I'm ready to start. Apologies, we're having some audio issues here today. 4 people in the meeting, so we will get started. Come on. Apologies, we're having some audio issues here today. 4 people in the meeting, so we will get started.
That means you're.
Come on. Apologies, we're having some audio issues here today. Couldn't find the device. In the meeting, so we will get.
Okay, let's give this a try.
Are we still on audio repeat?
That sounds much better.
Okay. I think it might also be because I had the stream open. There we go. All right, good morning, everyone. I'm assuming you can hear us now. Apologies for the delay. My name is Nicole Ludwig. I'm the governance manager for MNBC, and I am here with President Minot, who will be chairing the meeting this morning. We currently have 88 people in the meeting, so we are well above quorum, which is 36. And so I'll leave the rest to President Minot.
First of all, I'd like to thank all of you guys for being here this morning, especially on a Sunday cold morning here in British Columbia. Probably cold over right across the country by the sounds of it. So thank you guys all for being here and taking the time to address this one concern that we have in regards to the next year's AGM. The purpose of this meeting is just to set another place and time, as we could not get the facilities in Terrace to be able to do the next AGM there. So we're recommending to move it to the mainland here, and that'll come up with in the resolution in motion 1. So first of all, what we'd like to do is maybe start off with an opening prayer. Do we have one of our elders? Bryce, would you like to start us off in a good way, or?
Thank you, President Minot. Yes, I would be happy to do that. Good morning, everyone. Creator, help us to organize and work together, to put our heads up, to be proud of ourselves, to open our eyes to see the world, to share and listen with our ears, and to speak our rights with our mouths, to use our hands to work together and move our bodies actively so that we can stand on our own 2 feet, protect us everywhere we go, for we are the Métis people of the world. All my relations.
Thank you so much, Bryce, for those kind words. So AGM, okay, the clerk has already established quorum. Again, thank you all for being here. It's a pleasure being here with all of yous today. And the meeting will probably be fairly quick. All we have is the one motion to set the time and the space for the next AGM, September. I think we have it set for, you have a date there?
The original date was September 12th to 14th. And the resolution proposes September 19th to 21st.
Yeah, reason why 19th to 21st is getting to book the facility to be able to have the AGM here in the mainland. So that's why that date has been recommended to change. So what we will do is we'll get right to the motion right now, and that will be Nicole will read that off for everybody. Go ahead, Nicole.
Okay. I'll ask my deputy clerk, Judith, to share her screen with the motion on it. Okay. The resolution is on the other side if you want to follow along. So this is the subject of this motion is the 2025 annual general meeting. It affects no legislation. It was submitted by the MNBC Board of Directors on January 23rd, 2025, and requires a majority vote for approval. Whereas at the 2024 MNBC Annual General Meeting, the Assembly approved holding the 2025 AGM in Region 6 from September 12th to 14th, 2025. MNBC staff surveyed locations in Region 6 for the 2025 AGM and have ascertained there are no locations available which would suit the needs of the Assembly. MNBC staff are investigating venues in the Lower Mainland, Region 2. However, the originally proposed dates are not available. Venues have availability the following weekend. And the MNBC Constitution requires that the date and location of AGMs is approved at the preceding annual general meeting. Be it resolved that the location and date for the MNBC 2025 annual general meeting be changed from Region 6 on September 12th to 14th, 2025 to the Lower Mainland, Region 2 from September 19th to 21st, 2025.
So at this time, I'll ask for a mover and a seconder. We have Richard Lewis. Richard Lewis, you so move?
I so move.
Lisa Shepherd.
I second.
Okay, second by Lisa Shepherd. Okay, now we'll get into any discussion. There's any questions or concerns anybody has in regards to this motion? I don't see any hands unless I'm missing somebody. Oh, Lori Swanson. Go ahead, Lori.
Tansei, thank you. Thank you. Do you have a venue picked in Region 2 at this time?
Do you have any clarification on that?
We are getting close to a venue. We have feelers out to a couple of locations, including the one that was used last year for the AGM.
Yeah, we're probably going with the Sheraton and that area, the Hyatt, I believe. I'm
Okay.
not positive, but
Our events staff are currently working on negotiations.
Thank you. I'm assuming it's near the airport then.
yes, I believe it will be, but not guaranteed. It'll
Yeah.
be depend where we can get the venue here in Vancouver. But we're hoping that's where we're going to be able to put it, is closer to the airport.
Okay.
Easier access.
Right, of course, yes. And so I have a second question, if I could, just to the General Assembly, just wondering about putting out a feeler or a question. How do people feel about having it, in the Lower Mainland again? And whoever has thoughts, I'd like to hear. Thank you.
Thank you, Judith. So we'll go to Wendy Snyder.
Hi. The reason we had picked the dates 12th to the 14th was because the hunters said the earlier in September, the better. So I would be more welcome to an idea with the 12th to the 14th, as opposed later in September for the hunters.
So
And
sorry, Wendy, are you making did you want to make an amendment to?
Yes, please. I'd like to make an
resolution?
amendment to keep the same dates if we could.
Okay, Wendy makes the amendment to change it to the 12th to the 14th. Do we have a seconder?
We have our events manager online, so she can
Yeah.
respond to it.
Yeah, we definitely will. Yeah. Do we have a seconder? I got a few hands up there, but I don't know if they're on this question or this issue or. Lauren, was this on? Oh. Go ahead, Lauren. Were you going to speak to this issue or?
No, I want to speak to a different issue.
Okay, and I believe, was it Bryce that was just gonna make a suggestion there? I didn't hear who that was.
I think it was Mark Carlson.
Oh, okay, sorry. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, I just would like the early date. It'd be better for all the hunters if we keep putting that in. That's all I'll say. Whatever is fine with me, but the earlier the better.
We have our events planner on right now, do we not?
Yeah.
I think the main issue with the date was being able to get a venue for that date in the Lower Mainland. But I will refer to our events planner, which is
Marielle, are you online?
Yes, I am. Hi, I'm here. Yeah, so the venues that are suitable for our needs for this AGM in the Lower Mainland are not available for our original dates of September 12th to 14th. That's why we're proposing to move it to the following weekend.
just on that information alone, Wendy, are you still looking at putting that same date forward, 12th to the 14th, regardless of the venue that we can't obtain at that time?
If you can't get a venue, I understand.
Okay, so are you willing to withdraw that?
I am willing to withdraw that. Yes, Walter.
Okay, thank you. And the seconder, are you willing to withdraw it as well?
Mark?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
If we can't get it, we can't get it.
Okay, thank you so much, you guys. I appreciate that very much. So we'll get back to the original motion. I guess next was Lauren.
Thank you. I have more of a social request. I've noticed that in the past, for some meetings, we've used casinos, and I've also heard from people in our community that have self-excluded from gambling due to addictions or financial barriers. And I think it creates an undue temptation for people that are trying to overcome those. So in the spirit of Wokotowin and Coachahidayak and all those things that we as a nation here in BC hope to embody, I'm hoping we can avoid using a venue that has a casino, because the casinos are all really close by public transit and by taxi for those that wish to participate. But I think it lacks compassion the compassion that Métis people are typically known for when they're surrounded by it or faced with it, specifically if they're dealing with that kind of addiction. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Lauren. I think that's a very good concern, and I think there is a lot of people that have that. And I would recommend our event planner to make sure that we try not to be at a facility like that. Do we have was she on still?
Bill's here.
Okay, yeah, Marielle, you've heard that concern, and I guess we have nobody that's against that, or if there is, can you put your hand up just to speak on that matter? Okay, the hands that are up there now are from other questions, I believe, that were. Okay, so if nobody's against that, that's what we will definitely try to work towards, is making sure we get a venue that won't be in a casino or that kind of setting. Thank you for that, Lauren. Joy Sundin.
Hi, good morning. I just wanted to say that we're deeply disappointed that we can't have everybody come to the beautiful Northwest in Region 6. It's very disappointing, and I know that the event planners came and surveyed the situation, but I'd like to have us think about something in the future as we are trying to do the outreach into the different regions every second year, is when you come to the smaller communities, which we want everybody to definitely come and experience. It is a 2-year plan out that you'll have to do, because our venues are there, but we have only a few in each community, in the smaller communities. So we definitely need to have a longer plan up time for that. So just something for us to think about in the future when we're looking at I'm just reading here, the Constitution, regarding that we need a year, that we're supposed to, at the AGM, a year to plan for. You might need to think about 2 years minimum for some of our outreaching areas, our regions, I mean. So just my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Joy. And I was actually thinking about that in the last little while, and I was thinking maybe recommending to our communities and board of directors as well, that maybe at the smaller, more remote communities, we start maybe having our in-person MNGAs to be able to have, our leadership at those communities to be able to take part, and have your community take part in them conventions as well. So maybe we can look at that in the future, if everybody's okay with that, to maybe moving our MNGA to the smaller communities where, it doesn't take so much access and a huge facility to be able to put those venues up. So if you guys are interested in that in the future, I think that would be a way we can have representation right across the province when we're putting these events together. Who do we got? Renee.
Yes, hello everybody. Good morning. Bonjour. Just when we're establishing a venue for the AGM, when we confirm it, we have to keep in mind that the elders in the past AGMs had long walks from the hotel where they were staying to where the assembly room was set up, and I would really like to have that in mind when we do the all the work on it on the AGM this year, that we keep care of the elders and make sure that they get there, and you don't have to walk like 3 blocks and stuff. Yeah, maybe we can keep that in mind. I would really appreciate that.
Thank you for that, Renee. And I think that's a great suggestion and a good consideration that we should be given to our elders, a lot of our presidents as well. I think they should be the ones that are preferred to be staying at the venue itself where we're holding the event. I think we need to book those rooms for our elders and our presidents before and above our board members. I think we need to be able to make sure that the facilities that our citizens and our presidents are being stayed in are right there locally at the event themselves, so they're not worrying about travel, not worrying about getting in a bus. Exactly what Renee said, walking 3 or 4 blocks in the rain if it has to be. So I think that's a very good consideration that we need to look at to assure that, our elders and our presidents are treated the way that they deserve to be, and that's giving them the preferred rooms at the venue itself. So we will definitely be looking into that, Renee, and thank you for that suggestion.
Thanks.
Who do we got there?
That is Helene Wilson,
Helene.
followed by Dave Pelche.
Go ahead, Helene.
Dancy.
Nancy.
Yeah, I would just like to know what constitutes an adequate venue. Like Terrace is not exactly a one-horse town. And I would just like to bring your attention to two AGMs that I attended in Alberta a few years back, one of which was held in a huge tent with cooking tents set up beside it. That seemed to be okay. The next one I attended was at St. Paul, Alberta, and that one was held in one of the arenas, and it was adequate for what was going on. People were able to set up their little market places around. We had a huge stage with bands playing. It was a great attending thing. So I would just like to know what constitutes having an adequate venue, because I know Terrace, I took my trade there at Northwest Community College like 40 years ago, and since then I know there are a lot of more facilities since I've been there. So these are just comments I would like people to re-examine.
Marielle can respond to that.
Yeah, Marielle, could you want to respond to that? Thank you.
Yeah. There are a few factors. So because the AGM has grown so much, last year's AGM, there are about 300 attendees. So there's the general session that goes on. At the same time, there's the health fair and the trade show that has grown quite a bit. We need space for meals throughout the days. And as we were talking about earlier, having the elders not have to travel so far. So ideally the accommodations at the same site of all that, where we can be all contained. So one of the factors why Region 6 is going to be very logistically difficult is because we would be spread out throughout accommodations. It would be shuttling back and forth. And there are, just that's the main factor, those factors.
And also Helena, sorry. When we're going to the other provinces like Alberta and Saskatchewan and they have their AGMs and everything, they have the double the budget we have for their AGMs, and they're able to do a lot of the different things that we aren't capable of doing because of the financial implications that it brings about. So it's harder for us to set up those type of venues that they're able to set up. Because of the fact of the capacity. We just don't, a lot of times we don't have the dollars to be able to put a lot of those venues up in that way. We used to hold those like that in BC. I remember at one time in, I believe it was in Kamloops, where we had almost 3,000 Métis people come to an AGM there. And I think it was in the early 90s or late 80s. But there was some big venues and they had cook tents outside, all that kind of stuff. Right now, the weather situation that we're in that has occurred in the last 10 years is, we never know when we're going to get extreme heat in the summer and whether we're going to be able to protect our people from that when we're staying in tents and everything like that. So it's we're in a different situation right now to be able to put those venues up. And have the facilities available to protect our people from heat stroke or anything like that, or even cold weather, depending on the weather situations. So there's a lot of factors at place, and a lot of it comes down to capacity to be able to get the dollars to be able to make sure that everybody is safe and everybody is comfortable. Are we okay with that? Helena, did you have any other comments, or? Okay, we'll go to Dave Pelche.
Sorry, just on muting here again.
Oh,
so
sorry, Helena.
I wanted to bring forward those. I just wanted to bring forward those things that I had to say, and looking from the outside, it just looks like that we're being governed by different people that seem to more like wanting to stay in Hilton hotels rather than regular motels. So that's just another comment. And like I'm 80 years old, so I've been around the corner a few times, and like I said, Are we being governed by prima donnas rather than, looking to access area or zones where meetings should be held to accommodate the people in those zones? So that's all I've got to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Helena. I appreciate your comments. Dave Pelche.
Sanse Bomatan. It's fun to be on this side of a meeting for once. I think my question was really raised by Helene just previously and kind of answered, but the question I had after, especially reading the resolution or the motion and the comments from President Sundin and Prince Rupert, is it that after an evaluation, there are no suitable venues, or that they just weren't available for the dates that had been selected, and with some, better lead time, that something like that might be accommodated? So I just wasn't sure if there were the unavailability of a suitable venue or unavailable of a suitable venue for the dates that had been selected. Thank you.
Well, maybe we'll go to our events planner for that.
Marielle?
Yes. It's a combination of both, definitely. The venues that are suitable are not available for those dates. The ones that are available for other dates, it would just factoring in all the travel dollars as well. Is a combination of all of that.
Okay, so it does sound like that there are some suitable venues, and it might just be an issue of cost and booking them, I guess, earlier enough to be able to have them on the dates that we select.
Yeah, that's right. And there is a lot of planning that goes into this, and
certainly, yeah,
running out of time.
So for any other communities, I know we said a kind of a schedule for the last AGM of kind of the next future AGMs. Hopefully then in those other communities outside the Lower Mainland, we'll be able to have enough lead time to find and book those suitable locations, and hopefully reschedule a date for the Northwest. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, Dave. We got Wendy Schneider.
Hi, my rider's showing up in about 5 minutes, he said. So I will, if my vote counts, whatever the General Assembly plans on it, I will be there.
Thank you, Wendy.
Have a safe day, you guys.
You bet.
Bye.
Thank you so much for being on, Wendy. Appreciate you.
Bye.
Barb Hume.
Well, my thought is I've listened to all of the others and I can appreciate those coming from other geographic areas. And I'm wondering whether we should consider having it in the Lower Mainland because we're at this push to shove time, and considering, like we have done at the AGMs where we talked about doing it in the Lower Mainland one year, doing it, I believe the next one's in Vancouver Island, and then back in the Lower Mainland, and then in Kelowna. Maybe what we could consider doing back in the Lower Mainland and put sort of the North back into that position after that for a few years coming. And with all of our conversation, recognize that we can't just do a 1 year lead time, that we need to do a multi-year lead time. So the fact that we are now sort of placing places in advance to continue that and do it in a manner where people like the events planner can have a good lead time frame to be able to do the work. Thank you.
Thank you, Barb. Cal.
Hello. It's also nice being on this side of the meeting. Yeah, so one thing I think we should look at is like at the AGM every year we have a big discussion on date and venue, and we typically end up back at the proposed date and venue after 2 hours of banter. One thing I think we should look at doing is let's operationalize the venue or picking of the AGM so we can plan like 2 or 3 years out. And when people want to submit a location, have a proposal for a location ahead of time, because just saying, I brought up like Kelly Lake, and we got a majority vote for Kelly Lake. It's like just not feasible to happen, right? So I think there should be a way that if we bring a venue or a location forward, there should be a viable venue ahead of time. Just something to think about.
I like that idea, Callum, and I think maybe our communities in the future can to help that set up. Our staff here can help facilitate that. You know, when they want to put in a bid for their community, they can help to contact the venue that the community is looking at and see the availability of that and help them put that proposal together at each AGM. I like that idea, Callum. Thank you for that, bud. Pixie.
Yeah, Callum, I second those thoughts. I think it's really important that we build a strategic plan sort of and build on those. And I think it's really important that we take our dollars and the dollars that we do have and share them amongst our regions. And I know that, I've lived in a small community myself, and I understand that, I remember as a child we used, and again, I know in September it's hockey time, but they must have other venues in smaller communities. It doesn't necessarily mean it has to be at the hotel. And I think somebody asked earlier, what constitutes a venue? Is it an opportunity to be able to use another venue in the smaller community? I'm just going to use an ice rink as an example. If it had no ice, could we not set it up and utilize it? They do it all the time for trade shows and all kinds of things. So maybe there's other opportunities. And again, I understand what Renee said about the elders being close, but I mean, most small towns, the main strip's maybe a kilometer long in most smaller towns. So, it's not that far. And I think we could bring one of our vans that we have and, shuffle and drive the elders back and forth if that's the case. But I think there's other opportunities, and I think we need to look at viable ways of doing this and helping each other get this done so that we can support other regions and be in the other regions. We don't know what we don't know.
Thank you for that, Pixie. Yeah, no, these are good suggestions, everybody. It's we can take them back and really look at for the future on how to better set up these events to make sure that we include all our communities the best we possibly can. So thank you so much, Bernadette.
Yeah, to go off what Pixie said, nobody even contacted me. So I didn't even know that the event planners were in town. Nobody got a hold of me. I wasn't consulted. I've been in this town for over 40 years. It was like a slap in the face as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, that's just all I have to say is I didn't even know that anybody was here, and I wasn't consulted on anything. I serve my community and I serve my community hard, and I don't usually say much, but I was pissed, and I thought I did good work, and for not even to be contacted or consulted, I'm like, boo. And that's all I have to say.
Oh, thank you for Bernadette for those comments, and I apologize on behalf of MNBC if we offended anybody in this process. That was not what we've meant to do, and maybe in the future we will start maybe having a little more communication with the community that we are going into to put one of these events up, and maybe have a small consultation process where we can speak to the community members and board before we start working on setting up this venue. So I appreciate those comments, Bernadette. And again, I apologize about MNBC. We've never meant to offend anybody, and we always want to include as many people as possible in our process. Going forward, we definitely be looking at making sure that we have contact with our communities before we do any events within their community, and the board of directors and their members are advised of that. So thank you so much. Who we got next? Leanne Salter?
Yes, thank you. I just want to be quick here. I want to say that Callum is, I think, absolutely correct. This should be operational. I find this process isn't going to work really well for us because we're going to go round and round on it.
I think in the end, so I'm elected. And when I get elected, I know 4 years out what I'm doing 4 years from now. I know where the events are going to be, and I can decide at that particular time whether or not I want to go, and I know where they're going to be. And so I think that's one way of dealing with this, is just looking 4 years out and then setting it up 4 years ahead of time. That's one. And then the other is, I think it should be operational, because this is never going to work. We're all going to want something to be our way, their way, his way. And it doesn't work like that. We have to kind of accept that it won't be in our hometown, and then decide whether or not we can make it to the AGM or not. I can say for myself, it has not been convenient for me to attend AGMs, but I don't think it's anyone else's problem but my own. Because if I really wanted to be there, I would be there. So I'm just saying that because I can't stay much longer. So if we're gonna vote, I'll stay a little bit longer, so maybe we can move to vote, but otherwise I'm going to have to go as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Leanne. Richard Lewis.
Question, please. I'm calling question. I see a bunch of hands. I was thinking I was the last person, and I was hoping that nobody else would follow me, but I'm calling question.
Okay, Richard, what we'll do is we'll finish off the hands and then we'll call questions. So the last speaker will be Patrick Harriet on this issue, and then question will be called. So we will go to Renee Gervais.
Yes, while we're getting back to like issues for like Bernadette's, like say we'll use her for example. There wasn't enough time uh and putting venues in process like for the future. I'd like to see a 2 year at least time frame to take proposals from different areas, locations that they wanna have the AGM there, and that gives them time to lots of time to find a place and find a place available. Every town has a place that can hold 400 or 500 people, most of them, and it's just the matter of be able to getting the place, you know, like confirmed, on a certain date. That's the big thing that we're going through right now. So yeah, I'm just 2 year time frame would probably solve everything.
Thank you, Renee. Dakota.
Hello, Tanshe, everyone. I'm a little ill. I had too big a day yesterday, and I've not been feeling amazingly. But it's important that I think it's important at least that we make sure we are going to our northern communities and to our underserved communities. These dollars that MNBC can give to our Métis communities, and even just these communities generally, are really important for their tourism and for their long-term sustainability as communities, especially in these really hard economic times. And I think for this upcoming motion, I'm going to vote to abstain because I understand that there just isn't a realistic time frame at this point to set like, oh, we'll do it in Region 6, except for these dates, but then those dates don't work. Then there has to be another meeting, and you keep pushing it back, and then just becomes just unreasonable to do that. But I think again, 2 year time frame, and also considering like multiple dates, multiple sets of dates at a time when we're setting one date, so that when we come back and we have a general meeting, it's like, oh, actually, the weekend of the 12th to the 14th in Region 6 doesn't work. Our event planner saw that the 19th to the 20th actually does work in Region 6, so maybe we can do that instead of having our event planner look at the 12th to the 14th in Vancouver immediately after, and then be like, oh, that doesn't work. Let's continue to look in Vancouver, instead of saying, let's continue to look in these underserved regions, where it's so important for these communities to get these economic dollars from these larger organizations such as MNBC. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dakota, for those words. We got Patrick, and then question has been called. Go ahead, Patrick.
Yeah, thank you. Lots of really great comments. I really appreciated what Callum said about being able to plan ahead and operationalize. And I'm going to suggest perhaps at a upcoming MNGA and then bringing it to an upcoming AGM that we change our, I believe it's in the Constitution, about how the previous AGM confirms the next AGM. And instead, I think we should have more of a schedule so that at at every AGM, we approve the AGM 3 years in advance. That way, we can operationalize it. We can make sure that smaller communities, we have time to find the right venue. And it just gives better certainty and stability in forecasting where our next AGM is and being able to plan. So I think that would take a little bit of a change, but I think that's a good change because we'll be able to have more certainty and get into smaller communities.
These are all great ideas, but I do understand that the last AGM, we did schedule 4 AGMs at that last AGM. So we have planned 4 years ahead. It just happens that this venue, the date and time just wasn't, we just weren't able to do the first one on the list, which was, I believe, Terrace. So I believe our next 3 AGMs are all scheduled. We have them on the mainland, we have them on the island. This is the one hiccup that we had on scheduling this one. So I'm hoping that maybe in the future we do schedule these in advance so we don't have the deal with this issue. And I like the idea of each of the communities that would like to have the event in their community to put a small proposal. It doesn't have to be a big 3-4 pager, just one paragraph proposal to have it in their community, as long as we have the space available to be able to do it at that time. So question has been called. Go ahead, Lauren. We'll let you allow one more. Is that your hand up?
Yeah, so I forgot to say it last time, Lauren, Surrey Delta Métis Association. Maybe Callum, Dakota, and I can flesh out like a template or something that like what the proposal could include, and we can submit it to the MNGA like as a motion from our communities or whatever collectively for everyone's approval, and we can like workshop it there. Because that way when everything on the proposal like fits the needs and everything and has all those like accessibility, whatever, and it's culturally specific and everyone can give input.
No, that sounds good. That also gives our time, our staff and our team time to make sure that, these procedures are, we're able to do them in regards to, because we all still have to follow all our acts, our policies, procedures, everything like that. So as long as they can find them, I think that gives us time to make sure that we can work out any of the kinks on that issue. So good idea there. So what we're going to do now is, question has been called. So we're going to call a vote.
So
Go ahead.
So I've built a poll for this. You have your 3 choices: yes, no, abstain. So I will start the poll. If you, for some reason, can't see it, please feel free to shoot me a direct message with your vote. And launch. Oh, I can, we'll just add yours. I'm assuming yes. Okay.
Well, everybody is voting. Good morning, everybody. Sid here. Good morning, Mr. President.
Morning, Sid.
Just a bit of a shameful plug here with regards to the next elders gathering. I'm hoping that I'm not going to be stepping on toes here, out of line, bringing that subject to the forefront. I just hope that there's going to be some consideration with regards to some of the money saved not going up to my town of Terrace, but some consideration given to some funding for our upcoming elders gathering. pardon the shameful plug, but had the opportunity. Nobody was speaking, so I thought I'd jump in. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, we'll give it 5 more seconds.
Thanks for bringing that up, Sid.
All right, I'm going to
Did you vote for me?
I can't in here, but I'll add it.
Oh,
We will end the poll. So we have 77 votes in favor, 3 opposed, and 4 abstentions. So the resolution passes.
right on. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for being here, and thank you for taking your time on a Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning to join us all here to make these decisions. Again, it's such a pleasure just seeing everybody here this morning, and being able to have some of the discussions are very important for our nation and for our people moving forward. It's good to hear the concerns and suggestions of all our citizens, as many as we can. And I also like to thank Joy and Susie and other members of the region for, the work they've done to try to get this all set up. And I'm hoping that we can have something set up in Region 6 and in the future, is even if we can do an MNGA first and then maybe an AGM in the future, to be able to at least get our people to that region and to be able to, see what Terrace or Prince Rupert and that's all about, and meet the people there. I've been there, and it's a great communities. There's some great people there. There's amazing. They have some amazing activities. The Métis communities are very active in that area, and do a lot of good work for the people within their communities. So my hats are off to Susie and her region for all the hard work and contributions they've been given to Métis Nation of BC over the years. And it's such a pleasure working with each and every one of you. On that, I'd like to thank everybody for the vote, and we have now set the venue for Vancouver for the dates of September, what were they again?
19th
to the 21st, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody there. As many as we can get there, and we'll hopefully have it all set up so our elders and our presidents are put in a comfortable situation, so we're not moving them all around. And again, our board of directors will, if anybody has to travel to the venue, that will be up to the board of directors to do the travel. We'll try to keep as many community members and presidents and elders at the venue as we possibly can. Any more before we go? We got a few minutes. If anybody has any questions or anything in regards to right now, for me, we have a few board members on here. I don't know if they want to be put on the spot today, but if you guys have any questions, I'm more than welcome. I'm welcoming any questions you have right now. We have about 10 minutes. Alan Copeland.
Good morning. I'm wondering if it wouldn't facilitate an ease of picking the venues if we just do it. Maybe you have to put in a proposal. Maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but if we did like Region 1 and then the Lower Mainland, Region 2, then the Lower Mainland, like just keep it on a schedule so that we always know where it's going to be, then the staff would be able to have as many years as they need to get the venues in order. This takes such a long time for us at all the AGMs to pick the venue. Then we just know where it's going to be. Anyway, that's just my opinion.
We would definitely have to put in a resolution to change our constitution around the AGM and policies around it. So that's definitely something we can look into, and I'm looking forward to what Lauren and those three, Callum and Dakota, put together for, sort of like a cheat sheet that we can just fill out to recommend these communities in the future. So, all these suggestions are going to be great coming forward when we do have our gatherings, our next AGM and our MNGAs to bring these suggestions forward. So thank you so much for that, Alana. Dave Pelche.
Yeah, I just want to comment. I like the idea. Obviously, we're talking about the AGM, and that's the one that goes around quite a bit. But we do have a in-person MNGA every year, and so that might be worth looking into having that assembly kind of travel the province, and would also give those communities a chance to see kind of that side of the governance and being able to participate by coming in and observing. So that might be something to keep in mind. I know we don't have a provision, I don't think, in the MNGA Act similar to what the Constitution Act or the Constitution about setting the future MNGAs and the locations and the dates, etc. So that might be something worth considering as well, given some of the comments from Dakota and others.
Right on. Thanks, Dave.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for those comments and those suggestions. I think Kelly Kellstrom, I think you had your hand up, or was it? I don't know if you had a question or. Go ahead, Kelly. Can't hear you. I don't know. You're not on mute. I just can't hear you. Can you hear us, Kelly, or we can't hear you at all? Okay, sorry about that, sir. Do we have any other questions? Anybody else? Anything else you would like to address? So at this time, again, thank you, everybody. This has been some good discussions we've had here today. And I'm just wondering if maybe, Bryce, you wouldn't mind doing a closing prayer for us today, if that's okay?
Thank you, President Minot. Great discussion by everybody at this meeting. It's great to hear all these different venues being addressed. I like the idea of the MNGA going to these smaller communities. So I agree with President Minot and David Peltze on this. It's something I think that should be done, so that these little communities can see what governance is all about, our Métis governance. So thank you for those suggestions. Creator, give us courage. Let us be of one mind. Make us righteous, thankful, and proud. Help we, the Métis, to work together, especially utilizing our elders as teachers and preparing our youth for the future. Creator, provide us with direction and inspiration as we build a road for the Métis nation in this country. We must have strong Métis families in order to have a strong Métis nation. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for those closing words. And again, thank you everybody for being here and taking time off your Sunday morning to take part in one of these, some of the most important subjects that we have coming across our table. And it's such a pleasure seeing all of you again. So everybody have a great weekend or the rest of your day, and looking forward to seeing all of you again. Thank
Motion
you
to
very much.
adjourn?
And, yeah. Oh, sorry, Patrick. Yeah. We need a motion to adjourn. Patrick made the motion to adjourn. I need a seconder. That would be Deb
Seconder.
Fisher. All right. Thank you so much, Kelly. I appreciate you being here as well, my friend. You guys all have a good day now.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much, guys.
Where did it go?